What's going on? It's your boy Sermon at Sermon's Domain on Twitter. Last year, IDK, formerly known as JIDK, put out an exceptionally great album titled Empty Bank. Around that time, I was a bit busy, and so I never got around to reviewing it like I wanted to. Despite that, it is an amazing body of work, and I was not going to make the same mistake twice. So I told myself that no matter what albums are out on the same day as his next project, I'm going to make sure to add this to the list. What a year can make for an artist. IDK has grown so much in popularity, it's to the point that I don't see him not making the XXL freshman list in 2018. Like, he's really making moves, and he's on records with, MF Doom, and having all kinds of big names, really back him and know who he is. And not to mention, the fan base is just growing crazy. He's working on his own headlining tour. He was on tour with Iwasverybad. So IDK is making some big moves. So for his latest album titled Iwasverybad, he teamed up with Adult Swim in a partnership to kind of roll the album out. Now, I don't know the extent of the partnership too detailed, but I know that you can expect videos for every song on the album, which is great. We live in a visual world, so it's also good because the album revolves around a concept, and we'll get to that in a second. But the rollout for Iwasverybad was really good. I like the idea of rolling it out for 3 weeks. So 3 weeks leading up to October 13th, he put out a couple songs every Friday. So you got 3 songs here, you got 4 songs there, and then finally we have the complete album. And I wanted to wait until the entire album was out to really talk about it, but I sunk my teeth into those first 3 songs over and over again. Like, that week I was just in the zone, just loving these records. Iwasverybad is an autobiographical project. This is done from the perspective of IDK. Every single song written from his perspective, telling you bits and pieces about his life. It's his story, which gives you a lot of detailed raps that really add up the replay value. You can get through listening to this project once and then go back and listen to it again and again and again and still pick up on things that you might have missed. This is a really strong example of how you do a concept album and how you really let your artistry run wild. Now let me highlight my favorite song, starting off with Mrs. Lynch, Your Son is the Devil. First off, I really like the song titles on here. It kind of reminds me of another artist by the name of Gerald Walker, who used to put out mixtapes, and they used to have like crazy long titles. I'm talking like a whole sentence, and they just would be ridiculous but also very eye-catching. And so I kind of feel like that works well on IDK's album. I really love everything about this intro. He talks about he really sets up his story. I think this is what the intro should do, because the entire album is going to unravel more of his personal life and him growing up and, dealing with this and that. But the intro really sets the tone for what you're going to experience. He says, "The mystery of chilling down the street, knowing I shouldn't be, was lit to me, and that's the reason why I am literally the only one to go to jail in my family's history." Even at the beginning of the song, you got the voicemails that kind of, set that tone again, where you have these people that are talking about, your son did this, your son did that, it's going to cost this much for the case. And then you got this choir, and the choir was like the icing on the cake for me. I really loved how they came in and they're like, you're gonna be bad forever. Like, that was one of the things they were saying, and it really helps to kind of depict how the world sees IDK. He was never supposed to be a rapper with a future. He was probably just gonna be some, street hoodlum and eventually get killed. Like, that's how society would have saw him. And so I really liked everything about this intro. I feel like I said, it really sets the tone for the story that IDK is going for. And not for nothing, the raps are really good. Like, it's storytelling, but it's also real good storytelling at the same time. My other favorite song is called Black Sheep, White Dove. If there's one lesson to be learned from this song, it's to tell your mother that you love her, to spend time with her, and really show that you care, because that is something that IDK never really got to do. He talked about this song in a breakdown with Consequence of Sound, and I'll include a link to the article so you can check it out. But he breaks down every song, just like a paragraph of what he was going through, what this song means to him. And so he talked about what Black Sheep, White Dove represented to him. And so I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but he wrote this song to mainly talk about his true feelings. How he might not have acted like he cared, but deep down he really did. He also talked about how after his mom passed away, he could see like her values in her spirit, like really fueling his motivation. Like he sees bits and pieces of her through what he's doing right now. I love that this is broken down into two parts. There's two parts to this song. Overall, it's really just a very beautiful outro. It makes you think. And then there's like a bonus track afterward, which doesn't fit into the album, but it's not supposed to. Basically, this record is there to show you that, hey, I just did a concept album and I was rapping my ass off, but let me take it up a notch to show you that I can really rap my ass off and really compete with some of your favorite lyricists today. That is what I got from the bonus track, which is titled, which is titled Baby Scale, and it features Young Gleesh. Now for my two honorable mentions, the first being Pizza Shop. This one features Young Gleesh, MF Doom, and Dale the Funky Homo Sapien. I love this record because it's a nice concept record. It's broken up into two. One of the things that IDK said was that Doom did a verse that was 24 bars, but he had to cut it down so he can fit everyone on the song. Now, I don't know about the rest of the world, but I hope to hear an extended version, which is funny. It's called Pizza Shop Extended already, but I want to hear an even more extended version with Doom's entire verse. I want to see how that feels. So that was one of my honorable mentions, and the other is 17 with the 38 featuring yet another great Chief Keef guest feature. I feel like as Chief Keef's popularity within like the mainstream kind of faded, he sought out to be a better artist. And so now he's dropping these verses like on here, and then there was one that he dropped on Mac Miller's Good AM album where he was really just like sounding clear. And so he sounds clear on this one. Sounds like he's really trying to keep up with IDK. Every single album that IDK has put out has really just raised the bar in terms of creativity. He is doing well with putting these concept albums together. Like that's something that he really values as an artist. Like he's not just giving you a collection of songs, he's giving you an album that is a bunch of great music, but at the same time, if you play it together, it sounds good. But make no mistake, you could pull out some of these songs, 17 with the 38, Pizza Shop, and you don't have to listen to them within the album all the time to fully appreciate them. And I think that speaks to the genius of IDK's creation on this album. So it could be that he got more personal, or it just felt like he was able to let his creativity just jump out even more. But IDK is someone who, as his popularity grows, he continues to grow as an artist. That right there is something very rare. And so IDK's I Was Very Bad is one of my favorite concept albums of 2017, and probably one in the last, I would say, 3 to 5 years. Like if I sat down and did a top 10 list, I Was Very Bad would have to be on it. So those are my thoughts on IDK's new album, I Was Very Bad. After you listen to it, let me know what you think about it in the comment section below, and then like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the video. Follow me on Twitter at SirMsDomain, and as always, thank you for your time. I appreciate you for watching, and until next time, Peace.